Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VII. In the last part, we raided the second Malco reactor.
And we saved Aerith from Turks and Shinra gunners and stuff.
And almost died in the process. Yeah, that makes sense. That's
translations.
That's grammar error number 1 of many. 7 has an overall fairly well-translated storyline, but a lot of the side dialogue has a lot of minor typos or grammar errors that make it kind of muddled. Even then, in the story itself, there's still a couple of those that kind of muddle some things up with background stuff.
Yeah, I never understood the point of this area, never really checked it out too much.
Man, this guy has a tattoo of the number 2. A tattoo, if you will.
Ew.
I'm sure that's not important.
There's the door. That pun was not worthy.
Now, there are those doors in the center lead to, I believe, the item and materia shop for this area, and I think that over there is the armor shop or something. And I will be buying some materia here, if I recall correctly, but for right now, we're just going to focus on plot, if I'm recalling correctly.
I don't recall there ever being anything important here, like nothing that's super good that stands out.
It's mostly minor things. This guy certainly hypes himself up, and also he has the haircut of that one dude from Street Fighter Alpha.
Ooh. Also, I just realized you must have not had a lot of enemy encounters in this part. You must have gotten lucky. Because I run into encounters here all the time.
This is a Turtles Paradise poster. There's a couple of those throughout the game. It's a bit of an ongoing side quest. You find them generally hidden on the backgrounds and such. Only one of them is ever permanently missable. Also, we want to talk to that kid there who's sleeping. Check the middle drawer that he talks about, that there's 5 gil in, and we want to leave the gil there intentionally for later. It's kind of a Final Fantasy VI situation where if we leave that now, it'll evolve into something better later on.
That's a Chrono Trigger
wow,
thing.
This is an environmental switch. But there is some important stuff over here. The cover materia, and either the cover materia there is more important, especially for Cloud right now, in regard to Aerith. I believe the way it works is it just has a random chance of protecting an ally from an attack.
Does that have anything to do with the date mechanics? Like if the person covers, they get like an extra point? Is that a thing?
I don't think so. And this is Aerith's mother, Elmira. What an oddly old-fashioned English name for a game like this.
That is very interesting. I've always wondered how they take into consideration what they call the characters throughout the games.
Also, value swaps there. If you say no way to Aerith, she gains 1 point. If you say yeah, that's right, she loses 5. That's a pretty good boost towards Tifa at this point, so you bet your ass I'm saying yeah, that's right.
I never liked Aerith a whole lot.
It's weird. I like Aerith a lot as a character. I'll talk more about this as we go through the game. I think she's a very interesting person with a really nice, spunky personality.
I mean, I like that about her. I just don't like her as like a unit. She's just not useful. I never use her, but I like her character. It's kind of a Quina kind of situation, where Quina's just like kind of silly and he's just kind of there. I guess Amarant's kind of the same. I like Amarant as a character, but I don't use him a lot at all.
Yeah, I get you. Also, Elmira is able to recognize that we're former soldier just because of our eyes, which I believe I brought up last part. Soldiers have kind of tealish eyes from being infused with Mako. And she wants us to leave in the middle of the night, potentially due to something with Aerith's past. I don't know. Just probably doesn't trust us since we're a former soldier. Yes, Aerith. Oh, thank you. Good night to you, too. And something I missed for the longest time about this area. We're sleeping in the room on the left. I'm assuming that's usually Elmira's room. But while we're in here, you're going to notice there was a little box near the door. You're going to want to grab that.
What? I'll have to look at that, because I don't think I've ever seen or noticed that before.
We're dreaming. Guess this is Cloud's home. Not really.
Huh.
She's being a mom.
That's a very typical mom thing.
Yeah, especially for the 90s. Like, 90s TV moms, oh boy. Except when they didn't have them. Looking at you, Full Mouse. Full House.
Full House. That's a show I haven't seen in a really long time.
Full Mouse, that's the show where Mickey, Donald, and Goofy live
that
together.
box right there?
Yep. If you go back, you can actually grab this and get a little care package. That's not too useful. In fact, the Phoenix Down's probably the most useful thing in there at this point in the game, just due to the amount of HP you have relative to enemies' damage, but... yeah, also, you want to walk there. You notice I didn't run. If you run, you actually make the floorboard squeak, and Aerith makes you go back to the room.
That's a very interesting thing. That it seems to happen in all of the all of the PS games and also PS2. I think it happens in 9. I know.
Aerith, how did you do that? How did you get here?
Magical
What are you?
teleportation. What are
Goku
you? Tails? Tails from the Sonic series?
But yeah, Aerith's gonna guide us over to Sector 7. I'm guessing because she's lived in these slums so long, she actually just knows how to get around fairly easily. And if I recall correctly, this place here is the only portion of Sector 6 we're ever in the entire compilation. However, I want to backtrack a bit because I want to do my purchases now. Primarily here at the Materia store, though I believe I actually have to do some selling and grinding off-screen to get some extra gil, because I'm a bit low due to encounters at this point. I want to get a Restore Materia, just so I have a third one. No, actually, no, I want to get 2 Restore Materias and 2 Fire Materias. The reason I don't want to get a third Fire Materia is because we get one for free later on.
How far later on? Because I know one that you're thinking of that's probably free, and it comes with a character, but...
yeah, it's that one.
Oh, alright. Fair enough.
It's a bit late, admittedly, but given that most enemies in Midgar are weak to lightning primarily anyway, I think it's a worthy sacrifice.
Also, I have to point out that the layout of this room is super weird, and I'll talk about that once this description of enemies is done.
Yep, this enemy is the Hole Eater. 72 HP, 24 XP, 2 AP, 70 gil. It's actually a fairly vanilla enemy. All they have, I think, is their physical attack, which I think is called Sickle? And it's good for getting some quick limit breaks in, especially because they tend to move all as one unit and get 1 or 2 turns in a row. But overall, nothing too notable. The most notable enemy in this area is a Devil House, or Demon House, or whatever the hell it is called again. I think we see one of those later on.
Yeah. I hate those things. I actually got a game over in this place because of that explosion once.
One thing I could recommend, and I think this influences some targeting stuff. At this point in the game, I could actually recommend putting Cloud in the back row just so they target Aerith more often. And that's very useful, namely because you can get her trading her limit breaks. And Aerith's limit breaks are probably the best thing about her character because they're basically just restorative magics.
Very good ones at that.
Yeah.
Especially the last one, which is basically Mega Elixir. Also, okay, so the layout of that room. You know that ramp that you just went up to get over there? I thought it was a bridge for the longest time.
Yeah, it's placed in kind of an awkward position where it looks like it's between the 2 platforms. Also, we want to say actually, no, yeah, we want to say see her home here. It actually doesn't like her lose any points. It's no changes. But if you take her to Sector 7 with a dialogue option, she gains a point, and I don't want that. Yeah, let's take a break in this very creepy, dilapidated playground.
Is it possible for 2 of them to be tied? Is that a thing that can happen?
I've actually never been certain of that. I was actually tempted to do that this playthrough just to see what would happen. I'm assuming it's kind of like the section right before the final boss in 9 where certain characters have priority over giving their little essences to whatever characters. I'm assuming in the case of a tie, Aerith has priority over Tifa, and Tifa has priority over Barrett, maybe, and Barrett has priority over the 4th character, something along those lines. By the way, now we're talking about Cloud's past. We were a first-ranked soldier, our first-class soldier, which is basically the top of the line, and apparently Aerith's first boyfriend was also that rank. Wonder if we knew the dude.
Never mentions his name.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. It's probably a bad breakup, doesn't want to bring it up and all that jazz. I can understand that. Plus, she brings up a good point. At this point, it doesn't really matter. Oh, hey, a chocobo. That is an awkward turn. Tifa. Yeah, you can barely see her there. That's odd. I never really got the point of them doing it like that. But at the same time, if she was just walking along with people, Cloud would be just like, hey, what's up? That, mind you, I think it's just because that thing feels aesthetically out of place for Midgar.
Oh, the carriage?
Yeah.
Well, considering who it's for, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And welcome to probably my favorite section for the first portion of the game, the wall market.
My god.
First off, I love this tune. It's so funky.
This music is really good. This was actually my... Oh, I don't like this section very much. It's very silly and it's hilarious, but it's not good. For a couple of reasons.
It is kind of tedious to do go back to on multiple playthroughs, I will admit to that, but I love the ideas presented here. Oh, hey, Johnny. Trying to go for one last show before you leave? Yeah, because this right here is the Honeybee Inn. It's essentially a burlesque place.
Yeah, this game really stretched boundaries a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff they do here in 7 would not have been done in 6 or 5. But actually, no, 6 could maybe do it, but it would probably be censored into Tavern.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not only that, but in 6, you can't really do a whole lot with pixels.
Yeah.
So...
The switch to 3D models did allow them to do some more stuff animation-wise. Hey there, dude.
Yeah, that wouldn't have made it in 10. Especially because 10 is very detailed.
Yeah. And this is the first item shop in the game we can buy hypers and tranquilizers. These are very interesting items in that using them cures and causes a status ailment. If you're neutral status, the hyper will cause the fury status, and the tranquilizer will cause the sadness status, which has a few different effects. The most notable of which is involved to your limit break bar. If you're under fury, the amount of damage you take increases the amount your limit break bar goes up more. And it's the vice versa under sadness. Your limit break bar goes up more slowly.
A notable thing about sadness is that you take, I believe, you take 66% damage with sadness, and then with fury, your accuracy goes down, I think.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in fury for a lot of the early parts of the game just to get my limit breaks more, so I'll be missing a bit, but it's pretty good. Also, at the weapon shop, you want to buy the Mithril Rod, which is an upgrade for Aerith, 3 Mithril Armlets, and the Metal Knuckle. I grind off-screen for that for money, I believe, as well.
Please tell me you got the best items.
I do. Now, the thing is, we need to come into this mansion, Donna Cornell's mansion. This is where Tifa was taken to. I believe if you talk to some of the people around town, you find that out. But I just knew to come here anyway, so I headed over here. However, the Don don't like no men in his mansion unless they're his men, if that makes sense. So, Cloud needs to find another way in. But it looks like Aerith's laughing over something. What kind of idea are you brewing up, girl?
Cross-dressing.
You know what? It could work.
Cloud can pull it off.
Yeah. And since we're worried about Tifa anyway, so we might as well take the option. And thus begins the I believe it's just called the Miss Cloud side quest. We're going to be going back and forth all over Wall Market. First, we want to head into this place. This is the dress shop. It's always a good place to start.
I think this dress is the only item that I got that was like the best of the ones.
I used to not be able to figure out how to get them all, like the best items easily. Even though we had the Prima guide, I had troubles executing some of the stuff. Nowadays, I can do this pretty much no issue. But the guy has dresses, but no new ones can be made because the dress shop's owner is having some issues in his personal life. So we're gonna go see if we can help him out in any way. Also, this is the bar. Or no, this is the Korean restaurant. What I'm doing, I'm getting some of the other items you can get first, just because I know I can get them. For instance, here, we want to grab the Korean barbecue plate.
Korean barbecue is so good.
Oh yeah, it really is. I love some stuff like that. And when we get this, we're going to be given another dialogue option, basically saying what we thought of it. If I'm recalling correctly, we want to say it was all right. Yeah.
I've had better dog food. That's mean.
And for doing that, we get a coupon for the pharmacy. That's going to allow us to get another item allow us to get another item.
It's a trade quest, but it's a very mini trade quest, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah. There are, I think, 7 items you can get. 1, 2. Yes, 7 items in there. However, I think you only need 2 of them to actually get through the sequence. We want to get the digestive medicine with that pharmacy coupon.
Oh, God. I remember that item.
And now we want to head up to the bar. I accidentally misspoke earlier. The bar is up here. And there's 2 things we can do in here. One, we can use the digestive medicine up here at the bathroom, because as this guy's saying, someone's been stuck in here for a bit. This lady needs some help.
Give them laxatives.
And since we gave her the digestive, we get the best item we can get out of that, the sexy cologne. The other 2 items you can get, because for every medicine there's a respective item. They're basically just of lower quality, and I don't think they influence stuff as much. But this is the dress shop owner.
How did you memorize where all the places are? I still get turned around all the time.
Years of playing.
Oh, man.
But this man doesn't make men's clothes, but he's gonna be pretty open to the idea that Cloud just wanted to try this at least once. You know what? Respect to him.
How about you make him one?
However, there is going to be a caveat to this. He's going to make the dress, no issue. But he's going to ask us what kind of dress we want. For the best outcome, you want a dress that feels soft and shimmers. That's going to give us, I believe, the satin dress later on. It's either satin or silk. I forget which one.
I think the satin dress is the best one.
Yeah. And from there, let's see what we got so far, because this is the natural chain of events. You need to try the dress on, I believe, before you can get many more of the items.
Silk dress, okay.
Yeah. Overall, it doesn't matter too much, because I think the satin and the silk dress are both rather close in quality, if I'm recalling correctly, and with the other stuff I get boosts me up anyway. Because the reason that there only need 2, but there are 7 items you can get, relates to another portion of this entire thing that we'll be seeing next part.
I think
we got a pretty dress.
Blonde wig is the one you want, right?
Yes. We need a wig, because Cloud, he looks good in the dress, but the hair is kind of a dead giveaway that he's not what that would seem to be. So we want to head up here to the gym and talk to the owner here.
Now here's my question. How's all that hair going to fit under that wig?
And now how this works is that there are 3 outputs to this next situation. We're going to get a wig no matter what here, but we're going to have to squat for this character's best wig. And it's a competition against this dude. To squat, you need to press square, X, and circle in that order without skipping any buttons, otherwise you miss the squat. Basically, just press it very slowly, take your time, but not too much time, and you should be fine. There are 3 outcomes to this: losing, which is just a straight-up wig; winning, which is the blonde wig that Kenny brought up earlier; and a very hard-to-do tie is the dyed wig.
That'd actually be really cool if the dyed wig was the best one that you could get.
Now, from just this, you'll have enough to do the next sequence, and you'll get one of the 3 potential outcomes from the next sequence. However, I guess the best way to look at it is that I want outcome 3, and right now I can only get outcome 1.
Man. Are you going to show off all the outcomes?
No. This is the one instance in the game where I'm not showing off the multiple outcomes just because it requires me playing through this sequence 3 times.
Fair enough.
I should note the other colognes you could get back from that lady at the bar. For getting her deodorant, you get flower cologne, and for disinfectant, you just get straight up cologne. Next up, we want to head up into this place. This is the materia store for the wall market normally. However, if we can find the way to talk to the dude, because actually hitting the point where we can talk to him is surprisingly specific. There we are. He wants to talk to Cloud man to man. What's up, dude? And he wants Aerith to look away. And this part of this never made sense to me. Because it's not like they're discussing anything scandalous.
Well, also, she's in earshot, too, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. This guy has a bit of a fight with the man who owns the inn, and he can't go in there anymore. However, he wants to know what they're selling in their vending machine so that he can, I guess, become more of a competent competition. And for this next portion, you're going to need some gil. If you want the best outcome item from this, you're going to need at least 200.
That's not a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like 1 or 2 battles at the most. And actually, no, you need 210 because you need the 10 gil to stay here. You can buy any of the 3 of those, and like with the other things, you'll still get an item, but for the best one, you want to get the 200 gil. Also, I think this is the first time we're hearing the resting theme for the game. I love this song.
It's very short and very sweet.
It's just very relaxing. And I accidentally entered the place again. You will see me fumbling around a bit more control-wise in the early game because I have to get used to the D-pad and the pre-rendered environments again. It's not like 9 where the controls are very fluid. 7 takes a bit of getting used to.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were about to say?
I was going to say you'd need 250 because you're spending 50 for the inn and then you're getting 200 for the item itself.
Yeah, it's only 10. It's only 10 in
Oh, 10. Yeah.
Either way, since we got the 200 gil item, we get a diamond tiara. If you get the 100 gil, you get a ruby. If you get the 50 gil, a glass tiara. And now for the weirdest part of this section. We want to talk to this guy now because he's here. We get a member's card. That's a member's card to the Honeybee Inn. This next section is odd even for 7. So let's talk to this guy, get the member's card, and head on in. Aerith, sorry, you really don't want to come in here. Trust me, it is not a fun place.
No.
Johnny, what are you doing?
Oh, that animation looks so weird.
That man full-out combat dived down on Metal Gear Solid 5. And now there are 4 doors here. Well, 5 technically, but we can't use them one for its real purpose until later. These 2 on the right just have scenes. For instance, we can take a peek through the keyhole, and we'll see strangeness. I think this is supposed to be President Shinra doing some odd play, or President Shinra making people watch some odd play. The scene's never been really clear. The door on the top right, I believe, has an old couple doing some stuff. I don't look in there, I believe.
That would be President Shinra just doing a bit of whoa.
Yeah, this section's weird. And he's not alone in there. He brought a bunch of Shinra execs in there for some reason. The doors on the left are the ones we need, and those are the ones that will impact the item you get. This is also the one item in the game that I believe only has 2 items to give out. Hey, he's talking about this dude with the great wide sword on his back. That's weird.
New hobby of his. That's funny.
I think that's the only time the game refers to President Shinra's wife. She's never brought up again.
That either sounded like a snare drum or like a whip or something, or like a bunch of whipping. It was super weird.
Yeah. we want to take the group room. If you want a more interesting scene, I recommend taking the top room. But for the outcome I want out of the 3 potential ones from the next sequence, I want to take the group room.
Oh god. I hope this isn't the... Oh, I hope this isn't what I'm thinking it is.
I believe it is.
Yes, this is the... Oh god.
This seems a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, being lonely? Yeah, I'm used to being alone.
Jeez, you're so
Yeah, everyone.
moody. Oh my
What
god.
do you mean, everyone? Oh my! Freddie Mercury? Oh. Also, that one dude's smile is making me very uncomfortable. This could be dangerous.
Oh my god. They just say wash off the dirt and sweat together. Oh. Oh. Oh my.
Oh. Oh.
Aren't these guys in like their 30s and 40s?
Roughly? Cloud's only, I think, 21 in this
21
game.
in this game.
And it looks like he's having
It
trouble breathing in
hurts.
the water. Yeah, that can't be comfortable with all those men in one tub. If it was one-on-one, that'd be one thing,
You're
but
less
like
than half
8.
my age.
Oh god. Oh boy. And also, Cloud looks like he should be drowning in there because he's so short.
Yeah, he's really short.
And for doing this, we're going to get a memento of our time together at the bikini briefs. Oh god, he was wearing a Speedo.
Nice. Oh,
If you
that's
take the
great.
top left room, you get this really weird scene where there's another Cloud in the room, and he basically just goes through a giant freak out, and you get the lingerie from that room. I'm not sure in this case why the bikini briefs is better than the lingerie. I'm not even sure if it actually is. But after that, we want to head up here to the dressing room and talk to this lady. We can have them put makeup on. This actually I don't think has any real impact. It's just basically the last item. And with that, we're all set. So let's head back to the dressmaker's shop.
Please remember my personal belongings.
Also, I really like this outcome to all that. If you talk to all those guys there afterwards, you find out that Aerith was actually selling her flowers to those men. And it was really nice. She gave Johnny a flower for 1 gil because he's a nice dude. But the other guys got like 50 to 100 plus gil.
Deservingly.
And with that, it's time to finally make the reveal.
Wow.
Not bad. I like the little ponytail. And I believe there actually is concept art of this form. If I can find it, I'll put it on screen right now. And honestly, not bad looking. Let's see. If we're Miss Cloud now, we're going to need a name to disguise ourselves. Let's see. Moody, kind of snarky, very focused on the mission. Lightning.
Gross. I want this one!
I'll bring that up, actually. That is actually one of my least favorite things about the Final Fantasy fandom, is how they refer to Lightning as Femme Cloud. It's only really like that in the extended stuff, because Cloud did get kind of very overly moody in the extended compilation stuff. But
Advent Children kind of changed his personality a bit, and that was the one that most people adopted, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's real sad, because Cloud has a real good personality. I like Lightning a lot, too. And she has her own things that make her very different. It's just one of those minor nitpicks I have about the Final Fantasy fandom. Either way, now we can enter Don Corneo's mansion. Apparently we're very attractive, too.
I wonder, you got all 7 of the best items. I think the best I've ever done is gotten, like, 1 of them. I don't bother to go into the Honeybee Inn. I just go for the sexy cologne and then whatever wig I can find and then the dress. I don't really care. And then it's like, okay, time to move on.
But now it's time for us to find Tifa.
This segment sucks.
Yeah, this segment can be a bit draining on repeat playthroughs. That's why I thankfully don't play this game that often, but yeah. And hey, we found Tifa pretty easily. Also, why does Don Corneo have a BDSM sex dungeon? I see a whip down there on the table, some pliers, the obvious T-pose table.
The obvious T-pose table.
But yeah, we at least found Tifa. She's safe and sound. Apparently, Tifa saw us at the park, wondering why she never said anything, or at least yelled like, Cloud! But...
Also, I gotta say, this music is really good.
Yeah, I think this is Don Corneo's theme. It's really silly sounding, but it's really catchy.
It's really silly, and it gives you kind of a glimpse of who that man is.
Yep. But yeah, Tifa's only now realizing, yeah, Cloud's in here. Also, going to grab this ether. Hey, Tifa, how you doing? Bit of a strange circumstance, but I assure you it was necessary.
I mean, he's fine.
Yeah.
He'd be standing right here before you if that wasn't the case.
Honestly, I'm thinking more about like how we survived the fall. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if their reasoning behind it wasn't just that the church and flowers broke his fall, but because he was a soldier, the Mako infused his skeleton with stronger strength or something. That was redundant, but you get what I mean.
Probably. Didn't get poisoning from it.
Yep. And now we're finding out why Tifa was sent here. Apparently when they got back to Sector 7 after the Sector 5 reactor explosion, they found this weird dude who was seemingly spying on the Avalanche headquarters. So Barrett got him and got information from him, and that led them to Don Corneo, which is why Tifa's here.
Oh boy. I actually had no idea what was going on with this whole segment. That never made sense to me. And now it's clear.
And now for the worst part of this section. Don Corneo chooses a bride, quote-unquote, nightly out of 3 girls to spend the night with. Notice how there's 3 girls?
Oh.
This is the sequence I was talking about. Depending on what you chose with your clothing for Cloud, the outcome of who Don Corneo chooses changes.
And I believe you either get, like, if one thing happens, you get a couple battles. If another thing happens, you get a couple battles. And then if the other thing happens, then you get a very uncomfortable cutscene.
I'm going for the uncomfortable cutscene.
Of course you are.
I'll be going over more next part, what the exact combinations of are and what items lead to what kind of scenarios. I will tell you for a fact, I believe Tifa is the most common outcome. If it's not her, it's Aerith. Cloud is the one you need very specific item setups for. We better get out of here.
I have no words.
Also, I should probably show you my setup for the upcoming sequence. Everyone's in Fury just so I can have things set up. This is what everyone's material is looking like. Fire and all on Cloud, lightning, a lot of just magic in general. I have cover on Tifa just because she's relatively behind on limit breaks. So just to help her get an extra lead in that.
I never actually thought about limit breaks being used with cover.
It's just to help boost up the bar. But with that, we're going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 4, we're going to be meeting the Don himself. See you guys then.
Goodbye.